What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to a brand new Clash Royale video. Today we're going to be taking a look at one of the cards that was buffed in the October balance changes. That card is the Goblin Giant, which received a 6% hit point buff in the latest balance changes. We're going to be looking at how good the Goblin Giant is now and what decks the Goblin Giant works best with. So we have 3 Goblin Giant decks. We're going to be taking a look at a battle with each one of these and seeing which one is the best. The first Goblin Giant deck that we have here is Goblin Giant Double Prince here. Second one, don't know what happened there. Second one is going to be a bit of a Zap Bait Cycle deck with the Goblin Giant. And the third one is going to be a Goblin Giant Miner deck. Let's go ahead and jump into the battles and see how each one of these Goblin Giant deck fares. Okay guys, so for our first battle here, we're going to be going up against a Lava Lunian deck. Let's talk a bit about the deck we are going to be playing. Very heavy ground deck. And this is probably the most popular Goblin Giant deck that you are going to see. But out of the 3 decks I'm going to be playing, this one I felt like had the least power, and I felt like I was getting overwhelmed the most while playing with this deck. There simply isn't really enough air options. You only have the Electro Wizard and Mega Minion, and it really lacks cheap defensive counters. Your only card that's less than 3 elixir that's a troop is the Mega Minion, which leaves you with all these 4 elixir troops that just can't really do much. So the Dark Prince is going to get a charge there, the best thing that's happened. And I'm going to poison down that elixir pump. I always usually prefer Fireball over Poison, but I can definitely see why Poison works better in this deck. Again, it's just preference. You could switch it out if you wanted to, if you're finding more success with the Fireball. Here comes the Lava Hound, and I know we need to save our Electro Wizard and Mega Minion now. Like I said, the lack of air troops in this deck really makes it tough to win. Let's talk a bit about the changes to the Goblin Giant. Now, 7.7 or 6% hit point buff, right? So this should, on paper, this looks really good. But while I was battling with the Goblin Giant, granted mine is level 9, so it's still at tournament standard, it felt very weak. I think the damage is where it needs to be. I think the damage is great. It's perfect for what it is. But the hit points of the Goblin Giant are still so far behind that of the Mega Knight, Golem, and the Giant at 5 elixir. It's just so easy to take out. It's not worth 6 elixir right now in Clash Royale. It just doesn't hold up to par with other 6 elixir cards in the game. That's my impressions of the Goblin Giant right now. You might be finding a whole lot more success, but I think it's very weak right now. Of course, it is going to get to the tower right here. We're actually going to do a ton of damage onto that left tower, actually taking the lead in this battle well into the hundreds of hit points. Pretty bad Fireball by my opponent there, but it is time to build up another push. There goes the Lava Hound again. I was actually shocked we were able to win this battle just based off the lack of air troops. It does help when your Zap can take out the minions there. We're going to log back that Goblin Gang, make sure those can't do too much. And the Goblin Giant is now basically unmatched to the tower, should get at least 1 hit. Sure enough, it's going to get that single hit. Spear Goblins, which is one of the biggest parts of the Goblin Giant, doesn't really feel that utilized. It slowly chips down troops while attacking, but it's not overwhelming. Can't do really anything against like a card like the Knight. So I don't think that's there either. Maybe add a 3rd Spear Goblin or something, but we're able to take it with the first deck. Least favorite of the 3 decks overall. The second deck that we're going to be playing was my second favorite, but also second least favorite of our 3 decks. This one definitely had more air support. I made sure it was a bit stronger there. We got the Electro Wizard again, Goblin Gang for a more complete swarm. There were no swarm cards in that last deck, which kind of hurt. But we also have Bats for another cheap air troop that we can throw in there. Here comes the Goblin Giant. Unfortunately, the Ewiz is not going to lock on, but that is what it is. We know that we can shut down the Inferno Tower. The Zap there is going to be bad news, as that Mega Knight is now solely locked on the tower. Goblin Gang is able to get shut down with the zap, but we're definitely taking a ton of damage there. Just didn't really have the right counters, I guess. Valkyrie, I've noticed, is super strong against any Goblin Giant deck. Just being so tanky and being able to immediately kill those Spear Goblins after makes it a ideal counter to the Goblin Giant, even though it is 2 elixir less. And that's the real key, guys. This is why the Goblin Giant isn't great. The Giant for 5 elixir is much more difficult to destroy than the Goblin Giant is at 6 elixir. I want to see another hit point buff soon. I still don't think it's going to be seen use race that Clash Royale wants it to be at after this balance change. So I can almost bet we'll see another buff within the next couple of months. Again, we'll have to see how everyone else does. Mega Minion and Knight are able to survive right there, but my opponent wastes the Inferno there. We have the Goblin Giant, which is still biggest tank in our deck by far. Gotta use the Inferno Tower for that. So now we're going to be able to go up against the tower unmatched without the Inferno Tower, which will be a great sign for us. By the way, guys, what do you think about the Royal Giant buff? I've been seeing definitely a lot more Royal Giants, but I feel like it's easier to take out because you can play defenses wherever and expect to get away with playing the defense far away, because the Royal Giant does have to step up. Of course, 60% damage increase is quite a lot, and you can tell it does a lot more damage. But I think overall, it's not as great as they wanted it to be, but it will still be a good option. That is the key. I don't want to see it be OP, of course, but I think it'll be a great option. Like the Goblin Giant, probably a bit weaker than it needs to be, which I think is good overall. But we'll have to see as the meta adjusts even more in the coming weeks and stuff. So we're about to go to overtime here. We haven't really made too much of a dent in my opponent's tower, but he hasn't made too much of a dent in mine either. Really got to get a good push here. Check out the elixir advantage right now. He did just play a Mega Knight, but we do have the advantage over him. Goblin Barrel's going to be zapped out, and we got the Goblin Giant Goblins working away on that Mega Knight. Electro Wizard's going to go in, barely in time to stop the Inferno Tower, but it is still going to melt my Goblin Giant. Inferno Tower looks pretty strong right now. I am happy it did not get a buff in the user voted poll. We really got to do something here, though, in order to gain some damage onto the tower. Knight and Bats is a solid cleanup effort there. Goblin Giant is now going in. He's going to play a late Mega Knight. Really waited a long time trying to catch my E-Wiz. But now that Goblin Giant is locked onto the tower, and you can see how much damage it really does do once it gets up there. Goblins are actually able to add on a bit more chip damage as well. And now we are in the lead here with that one Goblin Giant push. Shows how good it can be once it locks onto the tower, but it is melted a bit too quick. Gotta fireball the Royal Hogs there. Fireball is one of the best counters in the game for the Royal Hogs. Never gonna debate it for a second. And now my opponent is in trouble. We got the E-Wiz, which will shut down that Inferno. The left Inferno is about to die, and we just got a bunch of spam. And with that, the tower is gonna fall, and we're gonna make it 2 battles, 2 wins. And so now let's jump into the final battle with my favorite Goblin Giant deck out there. This one is going to be rocking some devastating cards like the Miner, Minion Horde, and Zappies as well. Zappies are a bit underrated right now. A lot of people saying that the nerf received in September really set them back. I think they're a fine card. They do just what they need to do. If anything, they might even be better than the Electro Wizard still. My opponent's going to be playing the Electro Wizard, so it'll be a battle of reset cards here. Really late log from my opponent there. We're going to play some Zappies and zap down those Goblins. Just make sure these cards don't get too close to our tower. Have that Giant Skeleton Bomb go off and take about 1,000 hit points off the tower. And so we started off pretty well, didn't get too much damage, only a fireball that took down my opponent's princess. Here comes Elite Barbarians out of nowhere. We didn't really have an answer, so I played Minion Horde. And with those Fire Spirits in behind, the tower is gonna go down hard. We are gonna lose basically the entire tower. It's gone with one fireball, and this battle did not start out too well. Of course, we didn't really know about those fire spirits, so you can't really blame me for that minion horde, as it was the best counter in my deck. I didn't have the Goblin gang up. So we're just going to have to rebound, guys. Here comes some exemplary play. Got to be able to shut down everything. Princess right there is going to take the tower, so we're in a 1-0 hole. But there's one thing I've learned in Clash Royale. It is to never give up. Zappy's going to reset the Inferno Dragon, and the Goblin Giant's going to get to the tower just like that. Goblin Giant gets a few pounds on the tower, logs back a bit late, or a bit early, to not take out the Spear Goblins. We're able to get a pretty decent push there. 1 minute left to be able to tie up this battle, and we're going to go in hard with the Miner and minion horde. Doesn't play fire spirits until really late for some reason, which enables us to get a few more hit points of damage onto the tower. He drops a giant skeleton right in the middle, no problem to drag that back away. Gotta counter the elite barbs too, and overall we're gonna do a pretty nice job with that musketeer. Ewiz is gonna do a bit of damage, but it's okay. Gotta focus on offense for that right tower. And now it's time to go back to our boy, the Goblin Giant, trying to get that final bit in. He plays Elite Barbarians, does not play Fire Spirits until super late. So we're able to get a bit more damage there on the right tower. Gotta play a Miner now, just trying to chip away that last bit of damage. Miner is gonna almost be able to finish that tower, and there it goes. 5 seconds left, and we were able to tie it up. So now it's time to start focusing on the left tower and to go for that 2-1 win. Giant Skeleton is going to go down. It's time for our Goblin Giant push, and my opponent is sitting on full elixir. Doesn't play anything until super late with some Goblins and the Inferno Dragon. We're going to zap that all down. Here come the Elite Barbarians yet again with some Fire Spirits. We're going to play a Miner short to soak the Fire Spirits and do a bit of damage to the Elite Barbarians. And this is really coming down to it now. Inferno Dragon is going to get distracted by those Spear Goblins. Inside the throne, a Goblin Giant behind. And my opponent is not playing anything. I know he doesn't have Fire Spirits, so it's time for the Minion Horde to come in. And that is going to be an easy come from behind 2-1 win with the third Goblin Giant deck. So that is going to wrap it up for the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed watching all those Goblin Giant decks in action. Like I said, Goblin Giant still doesn't seem up to standard with other tanks like the Giant, but hopefully we'll see it rise up soon. If you were able to last this long through the video, make sure to leave a like and comment below what type of decks you'd like to see me cover here on the channel. Thanks again for watching, and make sure to subscribe so that you don't miss any Clash Royale content. I'll see you guys soon with a new video.